Okay, so Islamic responses to the environment, we've got the same kind of idea. You've got your individual responses, you've got your national responses or community responses, and your international responses. So let's start off with let's start off with individual responses. So not being a wasteful person, not being a waster. Allah does not love the wasters. So you can use this as an example of something that an individual can do. They can make sure that they are not wasteful in the way that they live. Alongside that, obviously being a Khalifa, that can be an example. And also in say keeping to the, let's say you're keeping to your pillars of Islam, you can make part of your sadaqah or part of your zakat at least a contribution towards an environmental charity or a charity that helps with people who suffer from environmental problems. And also, let's say you're doing the Hajj, you can do it in an environmentally friendly way. You might choose, instead of getting a plane, or instead of going through a very pollution orientated manner, you might choose to make the Hajj by foot, or you might choose to ensure that you're not wasteful or when you're doing that pillar. Then the other side, in terms of community responses, a lot of mosques do work at keeping streets clean, at making sure that people are carbon efficient, making sure a lot of recycling happens. There's a community organisation in Tower Hamlets that does that. So, there are a lot of examples that happen there. Other examples, yeah, I mean, Muslims are part of the Assisi declarations as well, so that's something that you can mention as well. I know it's Saint Francis Assisi who's a Christian leader, who's a Christian saint, but nonetheless, Muslims do respect the Assisi declarations and are part of that as well. Then, in regards to international responses, I think the main thing, you'll have your lobby groups, you'll have your Earth summits. Also, there's actually the city of Masdar. Masdar is a zero carbon city in just going to Google Masdar right now. It's quite interesting. It's a zero carbon city set up. I'll make sure I get you the right information here. But it's a zero carbon city set up within a Muslim country on that kind of Khalifa principle of being a good Muslim and making sure that you're not in harm with the mitsan of the environment that you're in, and that you are tawhid, you have oneness and connection and balance with God. Mitsan, balance, tawhid, oneness of God, or connection to God. Within there, also they have the IFE. I'll find this Mazda thing. I'll carry on. I'll go back to Mazda again afterwards. There's also the IFES, which is the International Federation. What's it? International Foundation for Ecology and Environmental Sciences. The International Foundation for Ecology and Environmental Sciences. And within that, they they work with many international projects to work at conservation and work at making sure that places are, working to make sure that Muslim areas are well cared for and other areas are well cared for as a Muslim responsibility. So, for example, I mean, the example you got in the textbook is a place called Zanzibar, also known as Mitsali, and there were fishermen there who were using dynamite, they were using bombs to fish, and that was bad for the environment because this was actually a really special natural resource. It was very beautiful, and people were very concerned about that. So instead, these people were educated on what they were doing. They were educated on a new role as caliphs to protect that environment, and also taught how to do more less environmentally damaging methods of fishing. And now that place is declared a khima, H-I-M-A, a khima. And a khima is a place which you cannot damage anymore. So it's a place that is protected under Sharia law. So it's protected and understood for Muslims to have a responsibility to make sure that place is protected. So yeah, it's Mazda City in Abu Dhabi as well. So we've got Zanzibar Mitsali, this protected place by the International Foundation of Ecological and Environmental Sciences, Islamic Foundation, Islamic Foundation of Islamic Foundation of Ecological and Environmental Sciences. Islamic Foundation of Ecological and Environmental Sciences. I forget things too sometimes. IFEES, that's all you really want to write. IFEES if you can't remember it. IFEES. But the whole point there, they worked in Zanzibar or Midzali with a fisherman, making sure people weren't using dynamite, and now that place is now a HIMA, H-I-M-A, which means it's protected by Sharia law, because now the fishermen are taking on roles as caliphs, and they're not doing damage to the environment, they're doing more environmentally friendly methods of fishing. Then you've got Masdar City, which is a zero carbon footprint, and it's a Muslim city in Abu Dhabi, which is part of the United Arab Emirates, and within that area, those people and those Muslims see it as their caliph's role to show that a city can be made, even in a very hot country, without it having any, so to speak, environmental damage or causing any environmental damage. So Masdar City is in balance with the world. You can think about the car, Mazda car. Cars are bad for the environment. The Mazda car is bad for the environment. Masdar City, that's what we're talking about, alright? It's all about Masdar City, not Mazda car. Well, I'm sure they're doing some sorts of stuff anyway. Okay, we're going to move on to animal rights now.